we are in the manual mode and in the sport mode. We'll see how this goes. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2021 Toyota Corolla, but not just any Corolla. This is a special edition Corolla. We'll get into all the stuff that entails. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for providing us with the Corolla. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT. In terms of fuel economy, it's 32 around town and then 41 on the highway, with power outputs being 169 horsepower and then 151 pound-feet of torque. Let's go over the front end on this special edition Corolla. So first off, one of the parts of the special edition is this red supersonic paint. Looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, it just completely pops. Like, the second you see this color, you know exactly what it is. And you guys can see that it has a really nice metallic flake to it once you get a little bit closer. And then you can see you've got the projector LEDs with all the LED accent lights that I absolutely love that are part of the Corolla. And then the whole grille here, you can see it's been blacked out, including most of the Toyota logo, not the whole thing, but most of it. And by the way, that also doubles as a sensor, which is pretty cool. And then you also get this front splitter here as another part of the special edition. So you can see it kind of like looks like little canards there at the bottom because it comes up. But yeah, this whole custom front splitter design here on the front end is all part of this special edition here on the Corolla. Now, coming around the side here, we've got two 25mm tires on 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And let's take a quick look at the wheels themselves. So you can see they go for like an all blacked out design on the wheels themselves. And then you can see just how big those rotors are for how small this car is. Pretty interesting take on that. And then another part of the special edition is you do get these side skirts along, again, the side of the car that comes with this special edition. But it's cool to see that from the front splitter here on the side. It just gives it such a unique look. But here is your full side view of the special edition Corolla. Now, popping here into the back, you actually get a custom mat here that says Corolla, and it's got these like two little stripes there on the side. And if you're wondering, you actually push this and open this up, and you can see you get a regular spare tire here in the rear, which is definitely a nice little touch. And then there is a cargo cover built in with the hatch. Pretty normal setup here for a Corolla, so nothing too crazy on this part of the back. Now let's go over the rear of the Corolla Special Edition. So you actually do get this custom spoiler here at the top. Just makes it look a whole lot sportier, and I really like the spoiler. I know it's a little bit of a funny thing to have on a hatchback, but I think it just looks really cool. And then you've got your special edition badging right there. And then I love how this is all blacked out here around the license plate cover. And yes, it's kind of like a mini rear diffuser here in the back. But overall, like, the Corolla hatchbacks do look really good. But with that spoiler there at the top, it makes it look a whole lot better. Take a look at the door panel here for the rear of the special edition. So you actually get pretty smooth to the touch leather here with the stitching on the armrest, and then you got some nice black trim just right next to it. And then coming to the seats, they are full cloth seats, and you can see that cool design there in the center part of the seat itself. But let's actually pop in. So gotta duck just a little bit to get back here. And if you guys are wondering, I'm 5'11", and I mean, it's not too bad, but definitely more on the tight side. And then here's what my legroom is. And you can see you got a little storage area, and then this actually pulls out to be an armrest and some cup holders here in the back. But again, this car is kind of all about being sporty, so the back isn't the most important part. Now let's take a look at the front door panel here in the Corolla Special Edition. So they actually do stitching here on the top part of the door, and then they do it here on the lower part. It's just interesting how it like goes up like an arc there. Definitely different. And they got that same black trim with the window controls and the mirror adjustments. Pretty normal. And then here's the seats here at the front. So you can see that you've got that same cloth seat with the same design in the center, but the bolster is very aggressive. They're kind of more like bucket seats, really. They are manually adjustable. And then here's what the pedals look like. Get another Corolla mat right there. And then quick look at the paddle shifters on the back. And then there's one more look before we pop in. Here's the steering wheel in the Corolla Special Edition. So they have smooth leather all around the steering wheel itself, and then you've got black stitching on the center part of the steering wheel. And then you get the normal stuff, right? You get your cruise control right here, lane departure assistance, collision assistance as well. And then over here you've got the controls for the phone, voice command controls, controls for the center screen, your light stock, and then your windshield wiper stock. So even though this is a cool little kind of like race car Corolla, it still has all the normal stuff. Now here in the center, you can see you've got RPMs over on the left side. Right there in the center, you've got the speed, and then you have that screen over here on the left side, and that gives you a couple bits of information. As you can see, it shows me the miles per hour and then how much I have until I run out of gas right now with the tank. And you can kind of scroll through a couple different menus. You've got stuff like the safety tech, for example, all that kind of stuff. So pretty straightforward, just like any other Toyota. Now first off, we'll go over the camera part of the infotainment system. So you can see you've got a backup camera with the little trajectory line. It does not turn with the steering wheel, but resolution on it's pretty solid. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, really simple to use. You just press the buttons here on the side. They're basically shortcut buttons to everything, and you can see that when you actually press things on the touchscreen itself, response time is actually pretty solid as well. And other than that, you've seen this in a million videos. We'll see if this actually has navigation. I didn't check. Nope, does not have a navigation, but you can always get it installed. Here it is, a single zone climate, and then I love the stitching that goes up all the way across the dash as well, and then they have like the black trim right there. And then there's a little bit of extra storage in this area, and then there's stitching all around the shifter area. There's a sport mode, and by the way, pops up on the screen, it's that little green thing right there. You can see it says sport, and so that's how you know that the sport mode is on. And then your stability controls right next to it, so you can do your front wheel drive burnouts. Got the manual mode right there. It is a CVT, but it just mimics an automatic, so it like mimics having gears. And then you can see you've got the parking brake right here. You've got your auto hold. And then in terms of the shifter itself, it's cool. They did like the leather at the bottom, kind of like what they have on manual shifters a lot of the times. And then you can see a couple cup holders right here. And then you got the center console, which leather all around the top, which is actually pretty nice. And then you've got a USB and a 12 volt in there. And then finishing things off, we've got the glove box with all the normal stuff that it has. And that's all this for the bottom portion. Now up top here, I've got the lights. You just click little buttons right there, pretty straightforward. No sunroof or anything, but they did do a black headliner, which is good, so that matches the rest of the car. I don't have anything else to say about the roof portion here. Now that we're done going over the interior on this Special Edition Corolla, let's quickly get into pricing. So in terms of pricing, this car stickers for just under $26,000 for any type of market adjustment. If you're wondering how much this Special Edition package itself costs, it's about a $2,600, almost $2,700 option on the price of the car. That all being said, let's take this Special Edition out and see how she drives. Let's quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in the Corolla. So you can see visibility over the hood is really solid. I didn't realize it was actually kind of soft touch right there, which is pretty interesting. There's your visibility over both of your shoulders, over the mirrors, and then here's all throughout the rear as well. So on that little blind spot back there, visibility in this Corolla is actually pretty decent. And that all being said, let's set off. As you can see, we are setting off here in the Special Edition Corolla, and first off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, I'm not feeling any difference between this and a regular Corolla. It feels like its rides about the same. And then from a road noise perspective, you get about the same amount of noise. Most of its tire noise is pretty well insulated from the wind, but you do get a little bit of tire noise with this particular car. So overall, I mean, again, don't really notice the difference between this and a regular Corolla. And as we get up to this light here, we'll kind of test out the brakes since we're gonna be taking a turn. Yeah, the brakes feel about the same as well, and we'll kind of see how this turns in. Handling feels identical as well. I mean, I'm not really feeling anything different, so it looks a lot cooler than a normal Corolla, but so far it drives exactly the same. Well, we are in the manual mode and in the sport mode. We'll see how this goes. Pretty interesting with the shifting in that manual mode with this CVT, but in terms of the actual power itself, Obviously, it's the bigger engine that comes with the Corolla, which is very competitive compared to other vehicles in this segment. Now, for this being kind of more of like a performance edition, it accelerates the same. It doesn't feel any quicker, it doesn't feel any slower. It's right where it normally is. Yeah, those shifts are very interesting. They're actually pretty quick with the CVT. I mean, you guys can see I pretty much press the paddle and it happens like right away, but the shifts are very, very small. So if you notice the actual difference in RPMs between the shifts, like I go from like 2,500 to 3,000 to like 3,200. It's very small increments, so it's almost like you have to shift all the time if you were doing this in the manual mode, which is definitely different, pretty interesting. But let's actually get into summing things up with this Corolla. So from the outside, I think they absolutely nailed it. I love the look of the new Corolla. I think it's a really good aesthetic, and with the side skirts and the front splitter and the spoiler in the back, this looks super sporty, super fun, just a really, really good looking car. Completely nailed it from a design perspective. Coming into the interior, it's interesting they didn't do like the fully loaded interior. They did kind of more like the base interior for this, but at least you get the infotainment system and all of that. And then going to like the actual performance of the car, like I said, it feels like any other Corolla. It doesn't perform any different, and so really you're just paying for the looks. Now there's a lot of people that might want that, right? You might want a car that gets really good gas mileage, but looks really cool. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, then this definitely will fit that criteria. But if you're looking for like an actual performance variant on the Corolla, this isn't it yet. Toyota said they might do something. Hopefully they do. I hear it might be all-wheel drive and really fast. And yeah, that's all. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Toyota Corolla Special Edition. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Toyota here in Murray for providing us with their Corolla. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.